Today we're going to be looking at further trig equations, and we're going to be using all the skills that we've learned so far. Now when we come across a trig equation where we can see a double angle, first thing we're going to do is replace that double angle using the formulae which are available in the formula sheet. You do not need to memorise these. So here I have sine 2x and I only have one option. I'm going to replace that with 2 sin x cos x. And the rest of the equation, I'm just writing it as it is. So it's equal to negative sin x. So I've just rewritten the equation, but I've substituted sin 2x with 2 sin x cos x. Now in order to solve this, I'm going to have to use the method of making a product equal to 0. So I'm going to have to move everything to one side of the equal sign. So I'm going to add sin x to both sides. So I'm going to have 2 sin x cos x plus sin x equal to 0. And now I'm going to factorise it and solve. And I can see on the left hand side I've got a common factor. The common factor is sin x. So I'm going to take that outside the brackets. And inside I will have 2 cos x plus 1. So therefore I know that either sin x equals 0 or 2 cos x plus 1 equals 0 in order for this statement to be true. So now I can go ahead and solve each of those independently. So to find out when sin x is equal to 0, I'm just going to be sketching the graph of sin x. And I can see that there are 3 points where that hits 0. And I just want to check the conditions I was given on this particular question. And you'll see in your notes that we're told that x is greater than or equal to 0, and it's less than, but not including, 360. Now the 3 times that this graph is at 0 are 0, 180 and 360. 360 is not included in our domain, so the solutions here are x equals 0 or 180. Now we move on to the 2 cos x plus 1 is equal to 0. So we're going to solve this by rearranging. So we're going to take away 1 from each side. So 2 cos x is equal to negative 1. Then we're going to divide by 2. So cos x is equal to negative a half. Now at this point, I'm going to be checking my cast diagram. And I want the quadrants where cosine is negative. So I'm going to be picking quadrants 2 and 3. But I'm going to find the acute angle first, which is the inverse cos of a half. That's the angle in the first quadrant, and I'm going to do that using my exact value triangle. And cos is ca, adjacent over hypotenuse. We want an adjacent side of 1 and a hypotenuse of 2. In our triangle, that's 60 degrees, has an adjacent side of 1 and a hypotenuse of 2. And so theta, which is equal to the inverse cos of positive a half, is equal to 60 degrees. And we're going to use that to find the 2 values that we're actually interested in here. So 180 take away 60 is 120. That gives us quadrant 2. And 180 plus 60 is 240, and that's quadrant 3. And so then we'll just summarise and bring that all together. X can be 0, it can be 120, it can be 180, or it can be 240. So we have 4 solutions for this question. So we substituted the double angle using the formula that was on our formula sheet. We rearranged the equation so that everything was on one side and it was equal to 0. And we then factorised and solved. And for each of the factors, we found multiple solutions. Okay, just to check where we are, can you list the steps that you've got to take in order to solve this type of equation? And can you name the 3 types of factorising? And if there are any types of this factorising that you think you need a little bit of practice on, please use the Essential Skills exercise at the back of your book to practice those.